Welcome back. This is our death series. We are on episode 10. Today we're going to talk about how being successful doesn't make you immune from suicide. As the suicides of Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain, rich and successful people can deal with the same anxiety and depression as everyone else. Isn't that right? So it's saying award-winning fashion designer best known as Kate Spade, took her own life at her home in New York City. She was 55 years of age. On Thursday, the government agency that tracks health epidemics reported that suicide is increasing all over the United States. It couldn't pinpoint any single explanation behind the suicide, but on Friday, they celebrated the American chef, author, and television star Anthony Bourdain. He died by an apparent suicide in his hotel room in France. He was 61, close in age like her. Bourdain worked in the back of the house in many restaurants before making a name for himself with his best-selling first book, Kitchen Confident, in 2000. On the heels of that, he became a globe-trotting chef and journalist, going to war-torn countries, tropical paradises, and even back to the kitchens where his career started. He overcame some early setbacks, including drug addiction, and rose to fame for his cooking, travels, and overall observations about what being human truly meant. Spade began her fashion empire by first constructing her simple designs using cardboard and tape. Soon her name grew into an iconic brand, offering bags and accessories at both affordable and couture pricing. In 2016, Spade and her partners launched yet another bag and shoe brand, Francis Valentine, all the while she was dealing with anxiety and depression. Spade and Bourdain aren't the first seemingly well-to-do people to end their lives when everything seems to be going in their favor. You know what? I noticed Kate Spade had some type of issues with her ex-husband, like he left her. So, for her, that was a lot to take on. But him, I'm not sure what was going on with Anthony. They do, however, continue to add to the conversation about issues surrounding mental health. As these recent cases illustrate, no one regarding of status or wealth is immune from mental health issues. The successes Spade and Bourdain created made them envy of millions. From the outside, that might seem like enough, but experts say it's not. A dark shadow. Okay, so they said they're trying to figure out like what really causes this stuff, because it really was no signs, because these people, they're in the spotlight, so I guess they feel like there's pressure on them. Celebrities are average people who have worked hard to get to the top. That's what they want to remind us, okay? But the pressure of celebrity to common mental health issues such as anxiety and depression, it can cast a dark shadow on the glamorous celebrity lifestyle. Okay, got it. The success can mean they don't get to have problems like the average American. Interesting, right, Mr. Fox? Okay, so they said suicide is a national epidemic, but when it comes to being at risk of suicide, celebrities are far from alone. Just a day before Bourdain passed, he was filming his latest travel show in France. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released a report showing suicide is increasingly in nearly every state. So then they said at that time in 2016, 45,000 Americans aged 10 or older passed away from suicide. That's a lot. This makes suicide the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. Suicide is a leading cause of death for Americans, and it's a tragedy for families and communities across the country. Dr. Ann, the CDC principal deputy director said in a statement from individuals and communities, everyone can play a role in efforts to help save lives and reverse the troubling rise of suicide. That's just crazy, people. They said no single factor will make someone suicidal. Any combination of physical health, relationship, job, money, legal, or housing problems, especially if combined with substance use, can increase a person's risk of suicide. Okay, so then they said copycat concerns. While not every suicide gets a headline, the deaths of people such as Spade and Bourdain are notable people. So they're just saying that it's highlighted for them being famous. Absolutely. But then they said it's very difficult to maintain a certain appearance at all times when what you're feeling inside is suffering. It's also difficult to constantly watch what you do and say in fear of being attacked by fans, reporters. And they said these situations can be definite stressors for some, and this can definitely take a toll on someone's mental health. And then they said for asking for help. Okay, so let's hear. They're talking about how Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain are two individuals who had access to the best help in the world. Makes it clear how hard it is to ask for help when you're struggling. They say your average person can be farther at a disadvantage, as help can be much harder for them to get. Thus, they may similarly not reach out when they need to. When you are struggling with thoughts of suicide, it can absolutely feel impossible to vocalize. But if someone actually approaches you out of love and asks if you need help, it can be the opening of a door that can save a life. And then let's see what else they said. It is everyone's job to check in with our loved ones when we know they're struggling and trying to ensure that help is sought whenever possible. Okay? So they're just saying that suicide has nothing to do with money, brilliance, or your career successes. They say it's about managing your mental health. And they said only you can know how much you can take and how much you can give. Only you know your limits. You must honor and respect them. Life is ever changing, but death is permanent. Stay gentle out there. So I hope you guys liked the video, and please subscribe.